For your viewing pleasure, this broadcast of the Municipal Council meeting of Alpena is made possible by the funding provided by the City of Alpena. Thank you for your generosity.
Good evening and welcome to the Alpena City Council meeting on April 1st, 2013. Call the roll, please.
Island.
Here.
Nielsen. Here. Nowak.
Here.
Sexton.
Here.
Walagora.
Here. We'll stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone had an opportunity to read the minutes. They're all set? No. Any modifications to the agenda? Okay, citizens appearing before council on non-agenda and agenda items are allowed 5 minutes each. This is the only time during a city council meeting that citizens are allowed to speak to council. If you do, sir, please come to the podium and give us your name and address for our records, please.
Okay, my name is Ray Aubrey, and I own the Son of Sons Laundromat. And I'm a little bit concerned about what your consulting firm and some of the things that I've read in the Alpena News. I know that next meeting is going to be a real, you'll be just working on that, but that's something I wanted to say here before you get to really think about it too much. We know for years now that the infrastructure on our water, our plumbing, is in pretty bad shape. We've known for years about the wood water mains made of oak. Everybody realizes that it's a situation. But I have a situation, if we raise the water rates to what they recommended in the paper, I use almost 1 million gallons a year. This would put me right out of business at the rate that they want. I operate on a very slim margin. Most people don't realize that, but laundromats don't make a lot of money. And so anyway, as an example, at 5.56 for the combined water and sewer. I just had a $2,000 bill come today, or yesterday, in the mail, and that would be about $4,600 under the what they suggested in option 1. And in the summertime, I have about a $2,500 bill now every 3 months, and that would bring mine to $5,700 every 3 months. That's a lot of money to come up with. I hope you all understand that. It doesn't come easy. So anyway, that's the biggest thing. And I know there's a lot of senior citizens that are live on fixed income, check to check every month. That's all they have to live on. Some people have nice retirement, but some people don't. And so anyway, I thought about this, and I don't know if there's any way that there's been money for the boat harbor, there's been money for everything, but all this plumbing has been needed to be fixed for a long time. You keep kicking the can down the road. At some point, you gotta quit kicking it. But we can't do it all overnight. It has to be done in increments. And so I know that there's a lot of people that this may become a problem for them. I guess that's all I have to say, but I just want you to know, go easy on us.
All right. I appreciate that.
Be a cool city, but step up for the people.
For sure. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Any announcements this evening? No?
No.
The consent agenda is bills to be allowed, and B is a renewal of auditing service for Straley Ilsley Lamp PC, July 1, 2013 to June 30th, 2014.
I move we adopt the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
Roll, please.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
Walagora?
Aye.
Tyler?
Yes.
I have a proclamation this evening. Whereas adults who provide alcohol to those below the legal drinking age of 21 are placing those youth at risk for health, safety, and legal problems, and whereas alcohol kills 6.5 times more young people than all other illicit drugs combined, and usage among teens often accompanies traffic fatalities, suicides, unprotected sex, drug use, and other high-risk behaviors and illegal activity, and whereas alcohol use by young people is dangerous not only because of the risk associated with acute impairment, but also because of the threat to their long-term development and well-being, and whereas Michigan ranked 16th in the percentage of alcohol consumed by underage youth, with one being the highest, it is estimated that underage alcohol use costs the citizens of Michigan $2.1 billion, and whereas 100% of any alcohol consumed by a minor came from an adult, it is illegal for adults to knowingly allow their child's friends to drink alcohol in their home, even with the permission of the friend's parent. Now, therefore, I, Matthew J. Walagora, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Alpena, do hereby proclaim April 2013 as Social Host Awareness Month in the city of Alpena and call upon all parents, citizens, homeowners, and property owners to host gatherings responsibly and take measures to eliminate access of alcohol to persons under the age of 21. Signed on this day by myself. And Donna, are you Donna?
You're fine.
Hardy?
All right. Oh, I have to come over there. Okay, better photo op.
Good time.
Yeah. I don't think we make enough money for all the.
Hold on.
All right.
I see that, Sean.
That's why I'm way over here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, report of officers, treasurer's financial report, July 1, 2013 to February 28, 2013.
Our prorated budget should be at about 66% through February of this year. Overall, our general fund revenue is at 83.63%, and there are a few areas, though, where it is a little bit low. Our investment income is just not improving like we had hoped. Rates are not going up. Rental inspection revenue is low for right now. It's about 43%, but that'll pick up, according to Mike Kolashevsky. Our rental rehab grant has not come in. That was $105,000. And ambulance service charges are slightly lower than the prorated amount by about $20,000. And obviously firework donations are only at 25%, but those will pick up in a couple months. Some of our things are seasonal, our revenue and our expenses, so it doesn't show up for a while. On the expense side, we're at 65.43% of budget, which is about 1% below where we should be. A big hit that we took was our insurance and workers' comp rates went very high, and that hit all of our departments. Even though we're doing well in our expenses by being under, there were just a few hits like that. Our loans, some of our loans, if they've hit already, it's 100% expensed, so it makes the prorated amount look higher than it is. So, overall, we are moving along with this year's budget, and we're almost going to meet this Wednesday. Department heads to go over next year's budget. Are there any questions?
No. Cut my head, you answered, so.
Okay, good.
I've got a couple quick ones.
Uh-huh.
You talked about the rental rehab grants not in. Were we awarded that and just haven't?
Oh, yes, every year it's late.
Yeah, that's all dependent upon when the projects occur. We've had one grant that there's been no activity for about a year. A lot of that's one, because we requested an amendment for additional funding and extension, but they've changed the rules in the middle of the game, and that's caused some considerable delays. But now we do have a number of projects that are moving forward on it. And our other grant, we've got basically all of the money committed, so it will be done during this construction year and finished up next fiscal year, both of those grants. So they are moving forward now.
My only
There's
question.
another, okay. Can we receive and file?
Receive and file?
So moved.
Second.
Noah?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
Walagora?
Aye.
Eiler?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Okay, Rich is here with 2 bids, septic waste transfer pump and city concrete program.
On February 26th, the city received an open bids for the purchase of a septic transfer pump for use at the water recycling plant. Bid advertisements were sent to various suppliers, and bid documents were posted on the City of Alpena's website, with 6 bids received per the attached as-read bid results. Typically on these types of bids, where we're buying equipment for the water plant or the water recycling plant, we package up the information received, the pump specs, et cetera, and we forward those over to the utility for their review. In this case, we sent them over to Bob Bell, the water recycling plant superintendent. He sat down with Mark Novakowski, the maintenance person over there, and they went through the bids, and it was about a month, if you look at his memo coming back to us. They took about a month to review those, go through them thoroughly. And based on Bob Hilla's review and recommendations, my recommendation is city engineer to purchase the pump from Pesco out of Warren, Michigan, in the amount of $16,334. Funds for this purchase are included in the sewer fund line item with $30,000 budgeted. Now, $16,000, but United Water will also incur some costs when they go to install it and pipe it, plumb it. So there is going to be some additional costs, but we're going to end up well under that $30,000 budget.
Question.
Yep.
Rich, I noticed Kerr was almost $1,200 below Pesco.
Yes.
Is that covered by one of those 3 bullet points in the letter?
Yeah. Some of them were the, like I said, the centrifugal type pump, which were not in the best interest. Some were based on basically the plumbing size that it takes to put it in there where it's at would involve significantly more plumbing. This one, the style of pump that we're recommending will fit right in there, very easy to plumb, and it has a reputation for performing the service that we do. And that's the problem, when you get, these suppliers think, well, my pump will do that. Well, maybe, but not, it's not really what we want. We want to make sure that when we spend $16,000 for a pump, that it's going to function the way we want it to.
Need action on that? Do you, okay. Does everyone do that?
I'll move approval of the bid by Pesco.
Second.
Need the amount?
No, I got it. Sexton?
Yes.
Walagora?
Aye.
Eiler?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
City concrete program. On March 19th, the city received an open bids for the annual city sidewalk program. And this is the voluntary program where property owners, if they have deficient sidewalk, can sign up with the city, or if they have their sewer line placed out from their house out to the street and they tear up sidewalk, they can sign up to get it done through this program. We bid this out every 2 years. We have a 1-year renewal option in this. And we did receive 3 bids. Bedrock Contracting, $45,669.30. Ryan Brothers Construction, $47,878.90. And Zan Brothers, $52,172.50. As all bidders were outside the city limits, but inside Alpena County, the local bidder's preference does not apply. After reviewing the proposed prices, it is my recommendation to city engineer that we award the city concrete program contract to Bedrock Contracting for the 2013 construction season at the unit prices outlined on the attached bid tabulation. This contract has a option of one-year renewal. The resident cost per sidewalk, what we charge the property owners, is established at 60% of the cost for installation of 4-inch replacement sidewalk. This cost would include both the contractor cost of $3.05 per square foot and approximately 35 cents per square foot. That is basically our engineering cost, time, billing costs, etc. Per square foot totaling $3.40. 60% of this cost would be $2.04. It is my recommendation as city engineer that the property owner sidewalk rate be established at $2.04 per square foot. This represents an 18-cent decrease below the 2012 rate of $2.22 per square foot.
The only thing that I noticed that I remember from 2 years ago was that there was like a huge breakdown with all the bidders that bid, and they, it said, it was actually more than I probably would have wanted to know had I been sitting here. But it broke everything down, and there was a bit of an explanation as to, at that time, one of the bidders was higher, and there was an explanation that part of their bid was something that we wouldn't really use throughout a normal year. And I'm just assumed that when I saw this, that was all taken care of and done.
We do an actual bid tab on it, so we break down, and all
Everything.
3 of them are compared side by side.
Okay.
And everybody was in line on this one. I mean, they vary a few pennies back and forth, but everybody was in line, but Bedrock was consistently below everybody else.
Enough on each item to obviously add up to the,
Yes.
whatever it is, $7,000 difference, or, no, it's not that. Okay.
Is the sidewalk program is now strictly all volunteer, or is there a section of the city that we are actually targeting that definitely need to be repaired and such?
No, the sub-precinct sidewalk program, which was the targeted program, has not been in place for a number of years. It's basically funding. We do not have the resources to be able to take on a $175,000 or a $200,000 program to do that sub-precinct sidewalk program. So it's basically city council in the past put it into hiatus for the future. And this is strictly the voluntary program.
Do you need action on both the company's bid and the cost for sidewalks separately?
Because city council establishes that, and then it goes into our fee schedule.
Okay.
The first time in 8 years, something's decreased.
18 cents.
Not much, but nice.
All right. Yeah, we're ready for a motion on, we'll do the sidewalk concrete program. And you're recommending Bedrock Contracting, we'll do that first.
I move we award the contract to Bedrock Contracting at $45,669.30.
I'll second.
Walagora?
Aye.
Eiler?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noak?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
And then the rate per, I don't know how you want to put that. Per square foot for property owners, is that
Yes.
what you want to put?
It's the property owner sidewalk program.
$2.04.
I move we establish the property sidewalk replacement program at $2.04. And that's it.
That's good.
Second.
Do that. 18 cents less than last year.
Eiler?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noak?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
Walagora?
Aye. Thank you, Rich. Communication, unfinished business, an update on city council meetings on the internet. Steve Schultz.
At the February 18th, 2013 council meeting, city council gave direction to staff to post the recorded meetings of the February 18th, March 4th, and March 18th to YouTube in order to test the volume of viewers that might participate on the internet. In your memo, you have the numbers as of March 27th, and I actually I went right before the meeting and checked them again, and there's an increase. The February 18th meeting was 195, so we had one more there. March 4th is 77, so that was one more there, but we actually had 22 more people for the March 18th one, the latest council meeting. So that went from 60 to 82 since last Wednesday. So it's just something to consider, and if, this becomes more popular, because, if we say, yes, we're definitely going to do this, and it becomes more popular, generally I would see these numbers increase, I would think, just because of the fact that we make it known that, yes, we definitely are going to do this all the time, and if people start to depend on it on a regular basis. We discussed previously that the additional cost for posting it would be $25 per meeting, because we have to do extra things with the file in order for her to send it my way and for us to post it. It appears people are interested in viewing it, and the viewership may grow through word of mouth from just those viewers, and also just through the city when we develop our own YouTube channel and advertise it more frequently. I personally think that the additional $600 per year is offset by the additional population that we can reach via the internet, and I request that City Council direct staff to create our City of Alpena YouTube channel for the purposes of posting council meetings and continue to monitor the usage and any comments as necessary. We will report back within 1 year detailing the usage. So by next April, I would give you the 12-month rundown of the viewership of the meetings and see how it's going.
Excellent.
I think it's a viable avenue, I think, to continue getting out to the population.
I guess my only apprehension that would be that we would move to do that now and then go into budgeting a month from now and determine that it's not affordable. Do you have a feel for whether $600 is going to be a crunch of any kind?
Well, it's $600 itself won't break us, but all the $600, and it's just more of a priority on what council wants.
Right.
So we'll go through this during budget of all the different things that we spend money on, and have you look through them and decide if like YouTube, is that a priority?
We can certainly undo it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can undo anything, and I would certainly support the program. I think it's been pretty good, so I'm okay with that as long as we understand that there's a chance it might be undone.
Steve, would we want to wait to develop it ourselves until we know?
I guess that's the question. Do we want to,
Yeah.
maybe it's something we even develop now, carry through, and if we do get, maybe that's support then for adding it to the next budget year. Or, I have a feeling there's people that could be waiting on this and going, yeah, once they go, that's going to be nice because we'll be able to view them all the time. I don't know if we stop now and then start up again in July, if that might be a little bit of a hiccup to that viewership who might be looking at this.
I wouldn't want to have any unnecessary interruption. Explain to me, I guess, the difference between what you're doing right now and what you would do if we approved to have it throughout a year.
Well, the thing is now is
the channel. Is that
the way it's set up is we would create the channel. Right now we're posting to Penny's channel, and as a non-governmental unit, it's my understanding that you can't have a bunch of space on that channel. They won't keep all these large videos on there for you constantly. As a government entity, my understanding is that we have a larger threshold for that, and we can have those meetings. We can have 6 or 7 meetings in the archive and not worry about going over a limit of some sort. So I just don't want to. I don't want to fill up her space with that, because she has her videos too that she puts up there.
Right.
So.
Will you be able to, once we have a channel, will you be able to draw these ones that we've already done into ours and off of hers?
Yeah.
Okay. You might have said that, I'm sorry.
It'll reset the view, because the views will be through a different person. But yeah, I'll get those videos from her as well.
Okay.
Where the world's headed, more technology, so I appreciate you catching us up a little bit with it.
It makes it a little bit more user-friendly too. You can watch the meeting at your convenience. I've linked to it on the Facebook page and had messages sent back to me that they appreciate the link. So I know people are actually looking at it through my page as well, so.
Yeah. I would be fine. I would support just going ahead and doing it. And I don't don't see that $600 is, we won't be able to find that somewhere for something that's important like this. Suppose we could have that discussion again later, but if somebody wants to go ahead now.
I'll move that we allow staff to create a YouTube channel to display the city council meeting.
Were you first?
It was close, I mean.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
Walagora?
Aye.
Eiler?
No.
Thank you, Steve. New business, which is back, bag, lawn, and leaf material pickup contract amendment.
Over the past probably 3 or 4 years, the city has done 2 big material pickups through contracted service. The past few years have been with Phillips Expert Tree Service. That contract expired November 30th of 2012. We've been in contact with them. They've expressed an interest to continue that out and have given us 3 more years worth of pricing to continue providing that service. In discussing this with the city manager and in the budget process, one of the things that we felt may be warranted in this program is the potential to try to add 1 additional pickup in the summer. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to make that decision until we go a little further into the budget process and see if we have the funding to be able to do that. But in order to give them some kind of a surety that we are going to do a spring pickup, what I'm requesting is that council would authorize a contract modification, which would basically extend that contract out so that the spring pickup could be scheduled with them. And that way they can get their crews ready and lined up. And then, once we get through the budget process, we would come back, revisit it with city council to either continue with 2 pickups a year or potentially try to increase it, if so desired. And for councils, it's about $10,000 a pickup. They do one in the spring and then late in the fall. And as I say, it's around $20,000 a year. If we added a 3rd one, we could look at basically the same price to do that. So at this time, I'm recommending that we execute the attached contract amendment, modify the contract expiration date from November 30th, 2012 to May 31st, should be 2013, not 2012, as it says in the memo.
The amended contract is right, it says 2013 on it.
It's just in the memo.
Oh, just in the memo, okay.
Rich, are we dedicating a staff person to DPW when we get brush come in? I mean, how much time are we spending over at DPW with the brush?
Well, it brings up a good point, and you're going to see a memo here later this spring regarding the brush pickup and drop off. To put it politely, we've been absolutely slammed over at the Public Works with brush being dropped off. A lot of commercial entities are hauling their brush in. These commercial landscaping companies, lawn maintenance companies are bringing in trailer after trailer after trailer. And it can't all be coming from the city, otherwise the city would not have a tree, shrub, or bush left, I don't think, with the volumes that we're getting in. So we're going to make a recommendation that we discontinue brush drop-off at the DPW and go back to curbside pickup for the brush only. We would still allow bagged material dropped off, but the brush is just, we spend 3 to 4 hours a day with anywhere from 2 to 4 people out there chipping brush. That's how much brush we get in a day. Even if we prohibit the brush pickup, or brush drop off, go back to curbside pickup, we've got a little more equipment costs, but we've we've got a crew, actually 2 crews out there for a week, and they handle the brush. And then, again, we would look at doing it, maybe not every month, but spring, maybe 2 in the spring, 1 in the summer, 2 in the fall, maybe something like that. And quite frankly, I think we're gonna come out hours ahead with our crew time and equipment time.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you, before this comes up, can you give us a guesstimate on the cut? Because I know a lot of it might be overtime or pulling people from one job, and, you know, a guesstimate on the cost, see if it's at least comparable with the curbside. You know, I don't wanna do both, I wanna pay the curbside and pay to have DPW work on it.
And that's the thing is, we can't, right now, typically after lunch, we divert one or 2 crews out there, available staff, and those are things they could be doing in other locations. We're diverting those out to just take care of the brush, and if we don't do it for 2 or 3 days, it's just about a full day of chipping brush out there. And it's very time consuming, and it's prohibitive of us getting our other work done. So that is one of the things, and we can certainly look at those costs, and we can come up with an average of what the amount of time we spend out there per day, per week.
You feel like the main issue is that people are taking advantage of our good nature, so to speak? You know, I think it would be more cost feasible if it was really just city residents and not something bigger.
We know for a fact that there is a lot of brush coming from outside the city. You know, you confront the contractor the 3rd day that he's pulled in with a trailer full of brush, and oh no, I'm getting that from over here. And I don't. It's not good customer service for us to get into those type of debates. And quite frankly, the contractors are getting paid to cut the brush on the property owner's property and dispose of it. It's easy and cost effective for them to basically dump it at the city yard. They don't have to deal with it, they don't have to chip it, they don't have to dispose of it in any other way. So we're really subsidizing the commercial contractors.
What happens to the chips after you chip things?
Typically, they're blown into the piles, into the mulch piles, and they're turned into compost. And they break down, it's probably 2 years, 2 to 3 years by the time they break down, but they do break down right into our compost program.
I was afraid you were gonna tell me they came back and got the chips.
Well, and we've actually looked at whether if we could feasibly get a chip van in there, blow them into the back of the chip van, and then like haul them over to Hillman Power for them to burn, something like that. And we are still exploring that option.
Or they could come and get it.
Well, we were looking and seeing if somebody would be willing to park a trailer there for us to use, chip it full, and then they could haul it over there and sell it in exchange for the rental of their chip trailer.
How well do you do on the compost? Is it that, it's not that big
It's
of a
not,
turnover?
it's a money loser for us. I mean, quite frankly, by the time we turn it and work with it and that, it's not a cost-effective program. It's very cost prohibitive for us. But it is something that we have committed to in the past. And it's something we can reevaluate. The problem then becomes, what do we do with all this bag material or the trees that we chip or the brush that we chip? Part of our problem too, in the growing compost piles, are the number of trees that we've taken down. We took down almost 200 trees. All the branches, all the tops get chipped, and that gets added into the compost program.
Good compost.
Yeah.
Rich, are we taking in enough volume of brush that, in terms of fee for service, this is a potential revenue stream?
That would be a major change. I guess if we were going to charge property owners.
Well, I was thinking of the big contractor jobs.
The problem is we've got to have somebody sitting out there 8 hours a day, basically waiting for somebody to pull in and then charging them to chip it. then you've got the billing, the handling, and all that stuff. So it's, I mean, could it be? It certainly could be, but I don't know that we would offset our expenses.
It's a thought, I guess, if you, maybe contract some summer help or something, I guess look into it just to see, I don't know how you would price something like that or what have you, for a volume. I mean, you don't wanna charge me what I, like, take down a single tree, but if there's some huge volume, I don't mean me, but just anybody that's.
Sounded like.
Anybody.
I wasn't gonna go there, but-
I don't mean me, I just mean like the average, me personally, but just the average person that cuts a tree down or does some trimming, but, if you've got contractors that are coming in a large volume, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like I
and
said,
that's part of it. The customer, the citizens of Alpena expect services, and that's one of the services that we do
Sure.
provide that other communities don't.
Yeah.
So it is a bonus, it is a benefit to have that, curbside pickup, et cetera, available. And then we've talked about this before, some other communities that I've been associated with used to charge the property. They didn't have the curbside pickup, but they would, basically, you paid them, the city, to come and chip your brush for you.
Yeah.
And it was not a cheap process. But, that's not something I'm recommending here, because this is a service that we have to provide to citizens.
Yeah.
What about if some nonprofits would want to man the gate, baseball teams, Boys and Girls Club, Humane Society, and do it for a donation of $25 a truckload or something? Is that still too much paperwork?
No, those are all things that we can explore. The easiest, and I say the easiest for DPW staff is to basically prohibit the brush drop off. Like I said, we install, and I'm gonna pick on you, Sam, you show up there with 2 bags of leaves and you've got 3 branches that you picked up out of your yard. That's not the stuff, but it's the high volume, the pickup truckloads, the trailer loads that we have to handle and chip are the ones that are really just killing us time-wise.
Thanks.
Okay. So back to your reason for being here, sorry.
No problem. And it is, that has been a very big topic.
It's a good topic. Bring back any ideas that you come up with. Obviously, you're gonna be back in the spring with a proposal of some sort, so. As far as amending the contract, basically just for a couple of months so they can do a spring pickup.
Yes.
Any discussion on that? You wanna approve that then?
I move that we extend the contract for, is it Phillips Expert Tree and Landscape through May 31st, 2013.
Yes.
Second.
When you're ready?
Noah?
Yes.
Sexton?
Sure.
Walagora?
Aye.
Eiler?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
And the Coastal Zone Management Grant Application Resolution of Support.
And I would like to apologize to council on your chair in front of your seat tonight for 3 revised sheets that after the grant application was submitted, we were on a tight timeline last week to get it in. We did identify some numerical errors that basically carried through on 3 separate sheets. So these have been corrected. You've been given a revised copy, and this has also been submitted to the Coastal Zone Management folks. I got an email back from the gentleman I sent it to, and he has already forwarded it on to an appropriate person for review. This is a project that came about earlier in the spring. We were approached by Jeff Gray and Russ Green from NOAA that Mike Jaworski had approached them about doing some shoreline improvements behind the Noel facility to promote improved access and educational opportunities for the students that were at Noel. They do a lot of water quality testing and different activities, and it's very difficult for them to do that without good access to the river. So that was one of the concerns. And when they talked with Mike Jaworski, he indicated that he was willing. As a matter of fact, I think he was on his way to get his excavator at that point in time and get going. And when Russ and Jeff Gray and Jeff Gray approached us about it, we basically asked him to put him on hold. Let's see if we can utilize those volunteer dollars, volunteer time, to leverage some additional dollars through the Coastal Zone Management Program. They thought it was a great idea, and we worked with them. Unfortunately, it was a pretty short timeline by the time we got that ironed out with the folks from Noel. Basically, what we're looking at is to develop a tiered set of retaining walls down that bank with a meandering pathway back and forth, so we can have barrier-free accessibility down to the river's edge. Some type of a dock, either a floating dock or a fixed dock at the shoreline, and then also potentially installing a canoe and kayak launch similar to what was installed at Duck Park. We also met with the youth sailing group. They were in full support of it. They would like to move their operations over there, so they have a permanent base for their facilities. And with that, we included some paved drive approaches down to that lower level. That way they could back their trailers down, back the trailers with the sailboats, and basically park a small trailer down there that they use to store their sails and different equipment. And along with that, we looked at implementation of a pavilion, and nothing of the nature at Starlight Beach, basically a 24 by 44 prefabricated pavilion that we would put up so it could be multi-use. In inclement weather, NOAA could take the students under there, do some educational opportunities outside, or if it's hot, get them out of the sun in there. And then the other opportunity would be for folks waiting to board the glass bottom boat tours, that they would have a place where they could stay. We went through the process, and Steve Schultz worked with me to develop the drawings, the concepts, and this is conceptual drawing. I can guarantee you the final product's gonna be a little different, but this is basically a concept of what we want to do. The total cost that we're looking at for this project is estimated at $210,000. We're requesting the maximum we can from the Coastal Zone Management Grant Program of $100,000, and we would be matching that with 100% in-kind services. Mike Jaworski and his crew with their time, labor, and equipment, and then also engineering and project development, project oversight, etc. So that basically would be $100,000 from them, $109,950. It's just under 210,000. Most of that local match money would be in the form of the services provided by Mike Jaworski. The city's portion would be about $17,700 that we would be contributing in our time and services. If City Council supports the submittal of this grant application, the revised resolution will need to be approved, and once that's approved and executed, we will submit that to the Coastal Zone Management folks, and they're aware that this will be forthcoming.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, to get get a 100% match, and at only $17,000 from the city is wonderful. I know we used to host, at the Boys and Girls Club, we used to host the sailing club. Those kids have been kicked all around the river. They can't seem to find a home, and this just looks like a great idea for them, and a great idea for any tourists who might come and be interested in what's going on down around the river on that side of the river. I think it's great.
Yeah, our riverfront's got a lot of potential. You know, it's one of the most undeveloped areas of our community, so anytime we can make an improvement and just pay in-kind services, that's awesome. So I appreciate you staying on top of that.
Do we do anything with that, the fellow that was here with that other grant that was for the river? He had river frontage proposals. I don't.
Dave Dargis?
No, he was a guy.
You mean Rick Dool from NIMCOG? That's that riverscape plan.
Yeah. Does this?
This
does
dovetails
have
in with that.
Anything that, okay,
Yeah.
because he had, I went to one meeting and there was some discussion about doing different things with the river.
In fact, I think in your box is an invite to the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're looking at the 11th of April for the next meeting, be held here in council chambers.
Okay.
And they'll basically be presenting an update of what we found. But yes, this does dovetail in here. And these are the types of elements that we were looking at to implement along the shoreline. Not just here, but all up and down. And
Right.
getting over into another subject, but that's gonna be kind of an advisory document of the different approaches that we can take that are in compliance with the new DEQ, DNR standards.
Okay, yeah, and I didn't want to get you off on something totally different like we did the last time, but that's okay. I just wanted to see, because of the 2 or 3 different things that are going on at the same time, as long as everybody's talking and somebody's not going to be
That's-
shocked or.
I want to say, that's the real beauty, is that the project we took out of the Riverscape was exactly to identify these types of things. This just happened to come along probably a year sooner than we had envisioned.
Yeah.
We wanted to get that completed before we did this, but it is good, it is incorporated into that overall concept.
Okay, I think it's great.
Rich, I'm sure this is something to look into, but is there gonna be a runoff issue there? Because that's, what you're talking about is kind of where it slopes down, right?
Yeah, what we're setting up is a lot of that is going to be, it's a 6A stone, it's a very porous, uniform graded stone, larger. Once you place it and pack it, it's barrier-free accessible. It locks into place so that wheelchair, somebody with crutches, etc., can drive over it very easily, but it also allows the water to flow down through there. And we'll obviously have to put some under drains in there and just put that, but I'm not going to create an additional erosion issue there.
I'm sure they're going to have to follow all kinds of, whatever you have to do with the river. Awesome.
Move we adopt resolution 2013-06.
Second.
Sexton?
Yes.
Walagora?
Aye.
Island?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Move we adjourn to closed session.
Walagora?
Aye.
Isler?
Yes.
Nielsen?
Yes.
Noah?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
The real thing.
No, that.
You are watching All About Alpena.